This is a kind of genuine earthquake in both in Europe and in particularly in the United States.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
The populism grows in times of crisis, in times of perceived crisis, anyway, on the part of ordinary people. And this is such a time.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory.
Ik denk dat we ook Trump en Brexit en op die manier kunnen situeren in de tijd van dit is het einde van een periode geweest en het begin van iets anders.
Mr. Donald J. Trump!
3 historici proberen de overwinning van Trump te verklaren met behulp van de geschiedenis. Ze zoeken naar parallellen in het verleden om te kunnen begrijpen wat zich momenteel afspeelt. De Brit Simon Schama was niet verrast door de verkiezing van Trump.
I actually took a bet. It's a terrible thing. I bet successfully both on Brexit and on the election of Donald Trump. It was because Brexit went the way it was. I was seeing the same thing happen to the Hillary Clinton campaign as happened to the Remain campaign in Britain.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
In other words, a very tin ear for the kind of grievances and just the sound of howling rage and hostility that was coming from, the white part of the country.
Amerikaan Michael Kazin is gespecialiseerd in populisme.
A real problem still is the hangover from the Great Recession, I think. Even though the recession is over and has been over for several years, according to the macroeconomic statistics, many people's the value of their housing hasn't rebounded in many cases. Their wages haven't gone up. So there's a real sense that yes, unemployment is not what it was, but people's lives are poorer than they were. And I think that is what matters to people. Personal economics is much more important than macroeconomics.
This anger and frustration and disappointment and this feeling of the government basically not hearing these voices.
Economische historicus Jan Luiten van Zanden ziet de overwinning van Trump vooral als het einde van de globalisering.
In de 19e eeuw hebben we ook een periode van hele snelle globalisering gehad, waarvan vooral de landbouwers, de landbouwsector de belangrijkste slachtoffers waren. Die zijn daartegen in verzet gekomen. Ja, eigenlijk zien we nu hetzelfde. De bevolkingsgroepen die niet geprofiteerd hebben, die het slachtoffer zijn misschien geworden van globalisering, die zijn in opstand gekomen, zou je kunnen zeggen. Die zijn op rechtse partijen, rechtse kandidaten gaan stemmen die een ander protectionistisch geluid hebben laten horen.
Today the American working class is going to strike back, finally.
Dat verzet tegen globalisering in de 19e eeuw zorgde er ook voor dat de elite zich meer zorgen ging maken over de armoede in hun eigen landen. Dat er meer sociale wetgeving kwam, dat die welvaartsstaat geleidelijk aan werd opgebouwd. Dat kun je je ook voorstellen als reactie nu, dat we beter gaan nadenken over wat doen we met de mensen die niet geprofiteerd hebben van globalisering. Kunnen we hun baanzekerheid vergroten? Kunnen we hun inkomenspositie versterken? Je kunt er ook een positieve wending voorstellen waarin we naar een nieuw sociaal contract toe gaan.
Sadly, the American dream is dead.
Trump is volgens Michael Kazin een typisch populist.
He's, from my point of view, a dangerous kind of populist, but one should separate the politicians who exploit these fears and anxieties from the rationality of some of those fears and anxieties themselves. I mean, after all, if people have experienced a better time and a more secure time, it's not irrational for them to want to be secure again. I mean, I think populism can be a way of well, sort of an alarm bell to show, well, these are serious problems out there which you politicians, you people in the elite, and there is an elite, are not addressing. Yeah, it's a language of discontent, and discontent is, democracies don't heal themselves unless they do listen to what the people want, because democracy is supposed to be ruled by the people.
Simon Schama ging een stuk verder. Hij vergeleek de opkomst van Trump met de opkomst van het fascisme. Een vergelijking die hem de nodige kritiek opleverde.
Simon, calm down, dear. Race and anti-Semitism.
I don't want to calm down. Don't patronize
Racism
me.
And
it's not a moment for calm. It's not a moment for calm. It's a moment for contesting what seems to be a very dangerous point in American history.
So you can either keep calm and pretend and wait and pretend that it's just another kind of politics, or you can raise your voice. It's quite true that if you raise your voice over and over and over again, people become exhausted with the raucousness of your opposition. But on the other hand, it's not good to keep quiet. That is, again, a classic 1930s psychology, that as long as you wait and see, if the trains run on time and that he doesn't really mean what he says, that the historian in me makes me feel that is a fatal mistake.
I don't think Trump is a fascist. I don't think he has deeply held beliefs, actually, as Mussolini did, as Hitler did, as other fascists have. I think his main belief is in himself and confidence in himself. I also think fascism, by my definition of fascism, their main definitions, means a one-party state, means doing away with the rule of law, means repressing the media that disagrees with you. It's almost impossible to imagine Trump, who won a minority of the popular vote, even if he wanted to, doing away with these institutions.
Schama, die deze maand in Nederland was voor een conferentie van het Nexus Instituut, ziet het minder positief. Maar hij vindt vooral dat zijn collega-historici een verantwoordelijkheid hebben en zich moeten uitspreken.
Bad things are happening, really bad things, and you can take any side you like, but take a side, walk out into the public realm. So in that sense, the blessing side of it is that we don't necessarily have superior insight, but we do have broader insight. And just as I don't think Trump is Hitler, I think, as I say, fascism comes in many incarnations, we do have a sense of living with things that are not just the contemporary moment. And we are either cursed or blessed in our head with the echoes of the past, and we hear them and we pay attention to them.